Welcome to Cinco, another episode of Reptile Fight Club, another clip show. What's going on? I'm Justin Zoolander, and here with me in the show, Mr. Chuck Poland.
Heyo. Hello.
Hey. Oh.
Back again.
Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, get down.
Turn on.
Hey,
How's life? Oh,
Ruby.
Already
Oh my
battling
God,
with
stop.
Ruby.
She's trying to get on here. She
Not
just
1 minute
ripped
in,
my
and we're
headphones off.
already battling with Ruby.
What the hell? Dude.
Peak
Come
call.
on.
Peak call.
Ooh, seriously, what was that? She's just.
What'd she do? I missed that.
So my cord for my headphones was like drooping down, and she like jumped up to like kind of get me to pay attention to her, and she just caught the cord and ripped them right off my head.
All
I will
right.
not
Well,
be
off to a
denied.
good start.
Yeah.
Nice.
Typical
Yeah.
shenanigans at my house.
For sure. How's life?
Good. Life's good. Just trying to manage a busy life. You know, just
Aren't we all?
Yep. So
Yeah, work's been pretty nuts lately. So
yeah, same here.
it is what it is, I guess. But
Yeah.
my daughter just brought me a drink. What a sweet
Nice. Sweet lady DDP.
I guess they did it wrong, so it is not sweet lady DDP.
What?
I think it's some Mountain Dew drink. I don't know.
Ah.
I don't know. That's the vice in Utah is the dirty sodas. There's like a dirty soda. I don't know.
Sodas.
Do you guys have that in California? Like a dirty
Sodas?
soda shop on?
Oh.
like like pop shops or whatever. I don't know. It's like a little shack that sells like soda with additives, like flavors, like peach or Yeah, my go-to is like the DDP with peach.
Oh my
puree or
gosh.
whatever.
Hold on.
Ruby's heard of it, I guess. She's trying to chime in there. But yeah, Utah is, I guess, with so many members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we've, our vices are a little more tame.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You're just sinning with sugar. That's
yeah. So I remember in Australia seeing my first drive-through alcohol shop or whatever.
Yeah.
What are those? Yeah. Anyway, it was
Liquor
kinda funny,
store?
so.
No.
Liquor store. There you go. I'm searching for the words. I really am from Utah, so.
No.
We stop by and grab a big drink every once in a while.
Nice.
The dirty soda.
Yeah,
when we're feeling wild.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that. The best we have is drive-through taco shops. So it's that dirty burrito that.
Oh man, dude, those we stopped at a spot. We picked up Eric from the airport and hit some taco shop. I think that was before you joined us, but on the trip to California. But oh my goodness, those were some good tacos.
I'm
Fish
telling you,
tacos,
that's like the best
everything was just
places. Like
fantastic.
yeah.
Man, it
so,
was just some random shop on the way that was
Yep.
convenient.
And that's how it is,
It
man.
was
That is
fantastic.
totally how it is.
Yeah.
You just.
Yeah.
It's
When in
usually the
when in
best
Southern
taco shops
California.
are like. Yep. Hole in the wall. Like, what the heck? Or what are we doing here? And you eat it and you're like, oh, that's what we're doing here.
This is why.
So,
Yeah. I really
like
enjoy
all the
Mexican
good
food,
taco
man.
shops are they're all out of like old like fast food restaurants that look like they were conceived in the 70s, and like it's just like 80 coats of paint on the place, but it's just like the greatest tacos ever.
Food is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a good trip. I'm just thinking about those tacos, man. Getting a little hungry.
It's good.
Haven't had my dinner yet.
Yeah. Sorry. I didn't mean to get you.
No. I brought it up, so it's my own dang fault.
Stick to the soda shack.
Yeah. All right. Well, how's Herp life? You got some good stuff.
Herp life's cool. Yeah,
it's kind of slow.
Yeah, it's slow. I mean, I'm not doing much. Yeah,
Things are
you know,
heating up a little bit around here. I mean, we're up into the double digits now. So
well, okay, yeah, fair. I guess
you guys got snow, didn't you?
Yeah.
I saw snow in Joshua Tree, or did you guys get any in San Diego area?
No. Well, I mean, at elevation we did.
Yeah,
you know, like
we got snowed on, didn't we? In Southern California, or in Julian, didn't we get snowed on? Or did it not snow?
Maybe I don't.
It was cold though. It was cold up there.
I mean,
and that was in.
It did snow last year. It did snow last year up there because we went up there, but I don't think that was when you guys were there.
No, it was probably just rain. But I just remember it being cold. And
little late.
Maybe that's
little late in the season for snow from when you guys were there.
Yeah.
Still,
man, we're getting dumped on here. We've got feet on the ground.
Are you just shredding the slopes?
Oh yeah. We went up the other night. Holy crap, it was just a powder paradise. It was so nice. It was a little windy, but I mean, we tried to go a couple different spots and the wind just prevented it. Like blew you off the edge. You couldn't go anywhere on a snowboard. So, but yeah, it was really fun. Me and my daughter Ashley went up and hit the slopes for an evening. But,
nice.
Yeah, good stuff. Nice. But now it's warming up. It's probably going to crust up a bit. So hopefully, I think we got snow later in the week, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I had a freak out where I was just like, it has been so, you know, my temperatures have gotten just like highs in the 50s, lows in the 40s, and it's just been like that. No sun, rain, and I'm like, I'm pulling the diamonds inside. Like I just like they completely stopped basking. They were completely hiding. Like I would go in to check on them, and they are absolutely so cold, and I'm just like, I know you guys can do this. I know I'm not scared from like the I think they're gonna die thing. But like, is it
the pep talk? It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, do I need to do this to you? Like, are we? You know, I feel like I'm being unfair in our relationship. If I could, you know, if you want to come inside, they want to come inside too. So I brought them inside, and they've been in for the past couple of days. So it's finally the rain and the kind of the crappy weather stopped. So we got some sun. It was the first day, you know, in probably like a week that I've seen the sun. So I kind of, you know. I basked in the sun today, so I'm like, I should put them back outside so they can start basking in the sun, and they can deal with those cold nights. But as long as they, you know, can warm up a little bit, I'm okay. Or as long as they have, you know, a few days. I just get worried because I don't have like deep insulated cover for them, and you know, extended periods of cold with no warm up, just it does make me a little nervous. So that's my big woo going on around here, which, you know,
nice, not
the biggest woo, but it is to me. So
we're hitting up above 30. I was out basking today too. You know, the sun was shining. We were. Are
you guys
degrees.
walking around in shorts
nice
and stuff?
Oh, there are people. Yeah, even like I was walking on campus and it was snowing. You know, and it was cold, like, you know, single digits cold in Fahrenheit. And this girl walks by in a little mini skirt. What are you trying to prove here? You know, like, come on. But yeah, it's, you know, there's people notorious for walking around in shorts in Utah in the winter. But
so Fraternity Row for San Diego State is like on College Avenue, and it's like kind of a main thoroughfare. And you know, like when I lived over by there, it was, you know, in the middle of winter, freezing cold, and these sorority girls are just walking in the skimpiest outfits. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, forget that.
They're up to no good, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, good times. Did I tell you I got? Did we already talk about the ultrasound?
Yes.
Yeah, I tried it out.
Have you with it more?
No, I did get some gel though. I just haven't had time to get out there and do anything. I took my daughter on a little. Yeah, I took a little trip down to southern Utah to take my daughter on some college tour time. You know, it was like a junior preview thing, and so we went down to Price and St. George, Utah. So
nice.
Checked out a couple local colleges, but yeah, got a little winter herping out there, you know. Found some feathered herps, but
I figured
none of the scaled ones out.
No opportunity wasted.
I
feel like your whole birding thing is because like once the reptiles are hunkered down, you can find the flying dinosaurs still. So you're like
it really is an outlet for that for sure. Yeah. Like
I get it. I make fun of you for it, and I will always lambast you. But
I
do understand.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I definitely need to get some guff for that, but it's fun.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
That's fair. Well,
seems like a lot of herpers. Our old, there's quite a few reptile people that go into birding as well.
Keith is. Yeah, I would say Keith might be the bird.
He was a birder before he was a herper.
I was going to say Keith might at the same time, be a bigger birder nerd than you.
Yeah, he kept a lot of different cool pheasants and so
you don't keep birds though, right? You don't have any birds at the house.
No, I had a rainbow lorikeet that I just loved. It was the best. I mean, it would talk to me and stuff, and
no like rare high dollar. No rare.
Well,
high
I mean,
dollar
he wasn't cheap, but nothing like no cockatoo. I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, like they're not expensive as far as some birds go, though, right? Like, I mean,
they're under $1,000. Yeah, so,
yeah.
And I traded a few snakes and some cash for them. So
my dad had an African gray. And that bird was cool. Those things are cool, man. They're very smart. Like you could hear, like my stepmom and my dad would both say the same things, and you could hear the tonal inflection of who that bird was mimicking. And the only thing that it sucks about those birds is they tend to imprint onto one person, and they hate everybody else. Yes. Oh my gosh.
And that's the real tragedy of keeping those large parrots in captivity. I watched a nature program. I think it was Nature, but it was talking about parrots in captivity, and it was heartbreaking. Like movies will come along with a talking parrot or something, and then everybody rushes out and buys these big birds, and then they find out really quick that they're not great for homes. No. They screech and squawk, and like you said, they imprint
all over the place.
They can be very destructive, and if you don't pay enough attention, they'll start barbering, pulling out their feathers and stuff. So it's really a sad thing. So they're just some. I mean, it's kind of along the same lines as like a croc monitor, or there's just very few people that can handle an animal like that.
Yeah,
some of my Aussie buddies have like outdoor aviaries and like provide them, flight air, large outdoor aviaries.
I honestly think that's like with croc monitors, like with any other, like you just
go the extra mile, and even that's kind of a poor substitute,
for sure. Yeah,
and then you're like, why are you breeding these? Who are these going to? Not people with flight aviaries. It's kind of.
No, that's
I mean, I think it's such a hard thing, because I definitely think that you should be able to keep and breed just about anything you want, but how many people can care for those? Maybe they supply zoos or something. That would be a nice thing. If there's an opportunity. I know Terry Phillip was saying that there just isn't a very good selection for venomous reptiles anymore. It's very hard to find, because they're not importing them anymore, and then nobody's working with them, so it's kind of tricky. I don't know. That's another topic, another day, right?
Not all press is good press.
Let's get into Cinco here. Our fifth, clip show.
Not Cinco de
just
Mayo.
To kind of remind the listener, we like to kind of go through the old shows and kind of discuss, a little bit if we've had any new insights or ideas onto them, or just kind of, rehash or whatever. So, the first one, show number 41, was the maternal versus artificial incubation. And I don't know, I haven't done it in a while. And I just think it's, having the cage set up. And
you're speaking about maternal
incubation. I have done artificial quite a bit, but and some females are better than others. Like I'm expecting a black-headed python clutch any day now, but I don't think she would
Yeah,
curl,
you don't
curl
trust.
those
You
eggs.
don't
And I would
trust
not
her,
trust
right?
her. Yeah. So she's not the best mother. And I wonder in the wild if black-headed pythons,
if they are,
where they
yeah,
have
yeah.
that semi-tropical distribution, how often they stay. I'm sure they probably do. And she's just, a captive. So, I don't need to do that. He'll take him from me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's right.
But I think if, it's a very rewarding thing. It's very exciting to see those babies hatch out from their mother's coils.
Sure.
I keep thinking with your outdoor setups, if you could allow them to try that out. But I don't know if I'd do it with diamond pythons, maybe with the coastals.
Definitely not. I mean, I think, getting a clutch last year from the coastals outdoors, maybe if they lay this year. I don't know. It depends on when they lay and how where we're at, and I might let them. I mean, I've got a cane heat mat in there and a thermostat that I can moderate temperature, and so I mean, it definitely could happen, no problem. Yeah, for sure. So
give them a steady state temp. I mean, and diamonds in the wild, like they leave their clutch regularly to bask and things like that. So. They know what they're doing. They can do it to the best of their ability. But there was a paper that Shine published that showed like sometimes females leave the eggs in the wild and the eggs die or the eggs crash, or they have retained eggs. Even wild pythons have been known to have retained eggs. So kind of an interesting thing to think about. But I'd recommend it. I want to kind of put out a call to arms. We really need a good scientific study to see if there's some measurable benefit of maternal incubation. I think there have been relatively few published studies, and they have their challenges, but that would be really cool to see, from somebody that has a lot of the same species, that they could have half of them maternally incubate and half of them take away. But I think a even better study would be to take half the clutch and maternally incubate half the clutch and let them, or artificially incubate half the clutch and maternally incubate the other half, just so you're comparing the same clutch. Yeah.
Same clutch, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and I mean that's that you got to be. I should do that. Be there. You got to be there when that gets laid, and there's a lot of sure. There's a lot to that makes it challenging, and frankly that's a lot of work.
I wouldn't mind getting like a bank of cages set up just for maternal incubation, that has a heat pad or something, some kind of hot spot that stays pretty constant, that they could hang out under. I mean, I have done it in rack situations for some of the Antaresia. I've done it in cages for some of the carpets, but never more than one or two a season, and it was mostly like, the incubator's full, they're in a spot where they could do it in their cage.
We talk about maternal incubation, but we're maternally incubating in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, that's why I kind of agree with you. Like maternally incubating outside, that's the cat's meow of maternal incubation, right? You know what I mean?
Where they have to rely on the sun, and they have to know. And I think if they've been outside for a few seasons, they're going to know when the season is and when to lay and those kind of things. But I don't know. You wonder about that too, because if they're hardwired, or they've adapted millions of years to a certain environment and place in Australia, and then all of a sudden they're in Southern California, it might be similar. I think, something like a coastal carpet that has a more wide distribution might be able to adapt to that. And where it gets, cold, like, maybe your habitat's similar to Sydney or something. I don't know. So it'd be interesting to see, how that went.
Well, I think
successfully do that.
I think, if they I think especially here when it starts to warm up, we tend to hit a pretty steady where, maybe it'll drop down and maybe those eggs thermal pause but usually a couple days it warms back up and then they're back to kind of going again. So I really it'd be interesting to look at, temperature data, over those periods when, if take it from when they lay to, look at like what those temperatures look like and overlap that with what they're doing and see, how whether they're like kind of making date, time, seasonal decisions, or whether they're making purely temperature based, and see that successive years to see how those compare. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see.
Be pretty cool. Yeah, I could see like a cool bank of cages in your backyard that have several pairs, and I mean that'd be cool. Yeah,
just what my neighbors want to see, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, you don't want them to see.
Right. Well,
yeah.
It's a little, Southern California, man, houses are built on top.
That's true. Not a lot of space.
Yeah. You may have to wave at your neighbors. I can throw rocks at mine.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Show 42. Herping, is it luck or skill? Mainly luck or skill. That was kind of more of a fun. There's no real answer to that. You certainly experience, the times we've gone out with people who've herped areas and they know that area, we've had great luck, right? I mean, Dustin and Jason, Steve and
Jason. Yeah. Yep. So, both those guys, like, they know those areas, they know where to go. And we had great luck when we went with them. But not to say,
we wouldn't have found that on our own.
Possibly,
it's hard to say. Yeah. I think knowing where to expect them and kind of a visual pattern, those kind of things, I think that definitely helps. And I think you can acquire a certain level of skill, but you still have to chance on them at the right time and the right place,
But the other part too is like, we're like, it was so good when we were in Anza, because it was like, all right, go from here to here and you'll find this, this, and this. So
that knowledge is hard to replace.
When you can call it that, when you can call it that good, or where the locality of certain, like, say, rosy bows, when where those localities start and end and where you can find those kind of, that's just experience and over time that that was amazing to watch Jordan in action and see,
like, he knows the exact, he's seen probably 50 rosy boas in this spot or something, that kind of thing over time, and knows, okay, we can probably speed up here. There's a low chance we're going to see this or that or the other here. This is the time to slow down and look closer or something. Yeah. But pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm getting geared up. I'm really excited for herping this season. That's going to be fun. For sure. We need to nail down some dates. You got some?
I know. Well, again, like I said, I've been super busy, so I've just been, I got kind of a lot of changes going on with work and busy with my personal life, and so I need to set aside. We're quickly approaching, so. I think the nice thing is going to be, I don't know about you, but I don't give a shit about, nice accommodations or glamping or, I'm planning on doing a tent and, doing it like Southern Arizona. So, sounds like Jordan's kind of the same way. Yeah. So, he's got a bunch of rough it men, so we should be good.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. That should be a fun trip. All right, 43 was Working for the Pros with Billy Hunt.
Working for the Pros.
That was cool to have Billy on and hear kind of his insights into, working for a kind of a big name breeder, or I guess he never did do that, did he? He kind of tried or offered and got rejected or something.
I kind of thought he had some experience, didn't he?
I think he tried, but he never made it, so he just did it himself.
No, maybe you're right. I feel like he gave such good rationed arguments that I felt like he had, you know what I mean? Like he
was the pro for working with the pros, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think,
wasn't he the pro side? I think. Yeah, I guess I need to revisit these.
Well, maybe not. No,
was he the con?
Wasn't I the pro side? Wasn't I the?
Maybe so.
Golly,
my memory's terrible.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
but I do remember that having Billy on was a nice thing.
Yeah. No, he does a fantastic job of arguing,
and he's doing a great job
thoughtful
with the reptile business
definitely
on his own.
Definitely.
So. Cool
I gave him a run. I remember that. That. So, yeah, man. I mean, I think, again, like a lot of fight clubs, it kind of cuts both ways. I think, working for somebody has its advantages. It's like herping with somebody experienced. Exactly.
They kind of show you the shortcuts a little bit. Look under this piece of tin, and you probably find something. So go back to that same spot, and you might find something.
And you're kind of stuck living in their success a little bit, right?
Sure.
Because their experience and their knowledge made them successful, and that's what they're kind of showing you, and that's what you're learning. So you're not getting outside of that, and potentially you're not. I not to say you can't think out of the box too, but you're definitely,
I know a lot of maybe pro breeders are like, this is the way we do it here. Do it this way, or find somewhere else.
For sure. And I mean, I completely
they don't
understand.
Want you messing with their.
That makes sense.
formula.
I get why. I
Sure.
mean,
And if you mess up on their animals, then that's not good for them.
Food on their table. So
yeah, exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay.
All right, next one, 44, genetic defect and morphs. Like, should we be breeding? So there was that new paper that came out that was
in a while, huh?
I know. Yeah.
I almost thought it was a dead topic, but
the new paper that came out talking about spider gene and ball pythons.
Oh yeah,
that it's an underdeveloped inner ear rather than.
Okay.
Well, for a long time, I think the reigning hypothesis was that it was a neural crest migration thing.
Yeah.
With the reduced melanin, they thought that maybe had reduced neural crest migration as well, and so you had defects in the mental area. But this is just a balance. Yeah, balance thing. So they have a fully competent mental brain. Their brain is fine, but it's just that allegedly. Yeah. But I guess I've been busy. I've been dizzy. Where you like, I don't know. So I started wearing earplugs when I swim. And then I have these little bone conduction headphones so I can listen to music while I work out. I'll do my laps in the water. In the pool.
Oh, that's really crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. So it goes through, so you can.
How's the audio?
It's not bad. Like it's pretty dang good. Yeah, so it's kind of fun. And they've come a little ways, because I used to have some that you had to put in your ears, and they had like little earplug type things, and so I wore those for a number of years. And then after I switched to the bone conduction ones, I didn't have anything in my ears, and I started swimming, and I got really dizzy. Like I didn't do well swimming laps without earplugs in, because the water would get in and throw my balance off and proprioception off. So now I have to wear earplugs when I swim. But, if I go snorkeling or something, I'm okay to swim around it and snorkel without earplugs. But if I'm doing laps, I need earplugs in.
That's crazy. Yeah.
One fell out when I was in the pool the other day, and I couldn't find where it went or where I lost it, and so I had to go.
And you were just like
and I have extra pairs in my swim bag, so
you were like just like a jag in the water, just doing
exactly.
loopy-loop. I don't know which way's up. I'm freaking out, man.
Yeah, so I know how a jag feels.
Yeah, and for the record, my grandmother had, when I was a little kid, had a rotary phone at her house. So we have gone from I lived in the era of a rotary phone.
Did you not have rotary phones?
What's that?
You didn't have a rotary phone in your house?
We had that.
Just your grandparents? We had them. Oh man.
That's
all we had back in the day.
I guess my family, I guess my dad was hip, dude. I don't know what to say.
You guys were ahead of the curve there.
So my dad was like, he he got one of the first like car cellular
really?
phones, and
those giant bricks.
Yeah, it was like so he had one that
pack.
you carry it. It's like
the briefcase.
Yeah. And then the one that like mounts with the cord to the big box that was like in the back. So it's like yeah.
Wow. Oh yeah, you guys are way out of the curve. We were
like
rocking the rotary phone well into well, I think my parents still have one in their basement.
That's
a rotary phone.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I showed my kids a rotary phone. They're like, "What do you do with that?" Like they did not, like grasping the concept. So anyway, that is to say, crazy man from rotary phones to bone conduction headphones that you can listen to underwater. Pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, technology's fun.
Yeah.
But it makes you think I don't know, does that change our thoughts on, jags and should they be bred? Because it's not a mental defect. It's not a mental, a brain dysfunction. It's just an inner ear balance thing. Should they, I don't know. Should they be kept and bred?
I again, like I cannot speak to I cannot speak to like other people's ethic of like where their line is. I just know that I was cool with Jags and I bred Jags until I got one that was really fucked up, and that really bothered me. And most people that I know that have have similar experiences where they're like, this thing is just so bad, like I feel so bad. It's not like maybe it eats and is fine and does all of its normal functions, but gosh, it's just like thud thud thud, like so for me it's like nothing, even if they told me that with reptile therapy they could cure it, I don't know that I would change my mind if I saw an animal that was like I think coastals are really cool and Jags are okay, and some of the crosses that are made with Jags are cool, but I feel like the lackluster of Jags wore off for me, and I just the luster of regular ass carpets hasn't. So if you want to breed them, but it's not my thing. Not my thing.
I think I've just kind of lost much interest for morphs in general, but
yeah, I agree.
I do appreciate the look of a nice.
I mean, going through the book, like seeing morphs, like, oh, that's awesome, that's cool. But is that what blows my skirt up? Keep it here at the house? No, not anymore.
I got much more excited over the wild type stuff.
Yeah, I think.
Thinking about seeing some of those wild carpets.
And that's
I guess that's my boat.
I guess that's the other half is when you look at some of the wild stuff and how different and how just like how it blows your archetypal thoughts of what this carpet or that carpet is. Then deal done for me. So moving on.
Yeah. Diverse versus specialized collections. And I think this is kind of timely with I listened to Alan Rapace on Project Herpetoculture and what a great show. He was talking about, kind of
have you
reached a little bit of the responsibility? Not yet. I need to.
You got it. Yeah,
I saw that.
You saw Ron?
Yeah,
and,
I did see
so
that. Yeah.
They're.
I just don't know if I have time before my work trip to give that justice. So we'll have to put get that scheduled. But that'll be a fun discussion.
You got to get pipe.
But kind of his take on. We kind of have a responsibility for some of these species to establish them, So instead of buying a pair of, 50 different species, we buy 50 pairs of one species or, that kind of thing. So I think that's, that definitely would provide some genetic diversity and a future, source for that species.
Now, how do you feel about the idea that, like, well, let's say you're not wide, but you're deep, what happens?
I enjoy.
Yeah, of course. I definitely think that's kind of a way to go, and I think it's a good model moving forward. I think, but what happens when something like your health declines and you stop breeding it, and it becomes the
Burt Langworth syndrome.
Thank you. You took that. Thank you. Yeah. So I mean, and that's that, to me. That's really the issue. And gosh, man, I hate to say it, and it's not, it's not in whole, but the Tracier really showed me, like, it's about the challenge for most people, and once it's been done, they're kind of like, I don't care about that as much anymore because somebody did it. So you do have to find those passionate individuals that just care, that care so much about this. Sure. And that's hard to do because people's interests change. I mean, and people's situations change. And so it's like,
and especially with a large snake or, a big python or something, it's hard to justify that. I think that we do have to consider, especially with hobbyist breeders, and maybe he's speaking more to professional breeders, but hobbyist breeders, I mean, if maybe it does go more towards hobbyist breeders, though. I don't know. It's hard to say because we can't sit on 50, 60 babies that, if you're producing from all those.
Yeah. Animals. And I feel like professional breeders, they have to chase a market. Yeah. You know what I mean? They don't have a choice in some cases.
So it does kind of fall on the hobbyists, right? Rather than,
I think those are the people with disposable, quote unquote disposable income to chase their, whatever is their preferred reptile or passion or avenue or thing.
Or you make your market, you get people excited. Personal people can do that. I'm not the best for that. Like, I don't go to a lot of reptile shows. I don't, interact with many people other than you and a couple others, in the hobby.
And I feel like that's tricky. such a hard thing, making your own market too. Like, you're literally, either, and so this is my thing, is either the animal really is a great, a great species to work with, or it's kind of not, or it's kind of nipper in, like, it's got, hey, it's really pretty, but it's not personable. So, it's not a handleable pet. It's, there's, you got to find the right nipper for it. Right. And so, the idea of, like, trying to make something more mainstream than maybe it ever will be is kind of a tough,
Well, and I've kind of found that with Western Stimson's pythons. Like, I've got a pretty big collection. I mean, the downside is they're kind of a bottleneck. They only came from a pair or two. And so it's really hard to diversify that. But I've got a lot of breeders. I don't produce from each pair every year, and I try to mix it up. So. You get a little diversity, but,
Can we kind of agree that a lot of carpets kind of stuff came from a pair or something, or like, and maybe there's
limited gene pools.
Yeah, I mean, we're
a lot of the Australian stuff. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. So I'm not too worried about that, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like I'm kind of doing that for that species.
I agree. I agree.
Or subspecies or whatever you want to call it, but locality. So
race.
a race. I feel like I'm happy to have those, but if my herp room burned down tomorrow, like, that would be a big loss in regards to Western Stims. I've been very fortunate and done very well with those. And I've put them in quite a few hands, so hopefully there's a bunch out there that I could get. And
I think that's
down the road.
I think that's a great example, and Antaresia for you is a great example of kind of specializing in a group of pythons that really wasn't like, I mean, I don't know that they were necessarily underrepresented, but you know, I definitely think you have done well enough with them and across, you know, the genus that, you know, they're out there, you know, like the Westerns they're out there now. Those probably aren't going anywhere. And so, you know, you know, if God forbid that did happen, you know, probably wouldn't be the end of Western stems in this country. Right. So, you know, that's
they're in a
kudos,
of
Justin.
capable hands. Yeah.
Kudos,
so,
you know.
You know, I don't know that I take complete credit for that because there's others that have come in you know, through Europe and stuff. But so it is what it is. But yeah, I feel like I've done. I don't know of anybody else who has produced as many as I have in the U.S. You know,
well, very very rarely is anything in reptiles a singular effort, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So
yeah, and you need that. Like I said, like if you're, I mean, even with Bert, like he had this amazing collection. He had several different, you know, pairs of different species, hard to find species, and he was producing a lot of animals and selling a lot of animals. And I think that's kind of a double-edged sword because when people look at something and say, "Oh, it's just a common, you know, it's a $50 water dragon, Australian water dragon," you know, I only need a pair of those. I don't want to buy, you know, 6 pairs of those. Mm-hmm. And so when he dies, everybody that just had a pair or, you know, wasn't actively producing, and who wants to try to compete with Bert, you know?
Right, exactly.
You've got, I'm not going to set up some giant, because he's the Australian water dragon guy. Why would I set up, you know, 20 breeders to try to compete? But I think that's kind of the wrong attitude to have because, you know, I think...
well,
especially if you're a hobbyist, you don't have to breed those.
I mean,
you know,
maybe you don't have to set up 20 pairs, but maybe it's, you know, maybe the attitude is you should breed them, but you have to breed them at a, you know, maybe everyone should breed them at a level that's, you know, isn't quite
or once you're kind of like
market-ish.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, a death is hard to predict, but like, you know, you've bred them for a decade, and you're like, okay, maybe it's time to move this project onto somebody else and give somebody an opportunity to kind of run with a larger scale project. But again, that's hard to find, you know, who's in the, especially when he's keeping him in those self-designed outdoor caging and things like that. You know, it's tricky. And I believe somebody did buy a Gamma International after he passed away, but I didn't see much after that. Like, it kept going. Funny. I don't think it's still going, so kind of sad. All right, well, something to think about. Yeah, I think time to move on. The next one was our 1-year celebration. Woo!
Yay!
A quiz show. So just for that, let's flip a coin. We need to see who's going to win.
I feel like,
week.
That's tails.
It's heads. Sorry, buddy. I'll take the win this week.
All right. Well, moving on again. No need to dwell
outdoor
on quotes.
keeping. This was a great show with Ron St. Pierre, the man, the myth, the legend. That was a lot of fun to hear his stories about the challenges of keeping animals outdoors.
The outdoor Mike Tyson of Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep. We got to get him in here to battle another heavyweight, Alan Rapace. So
Alan Rapace, Holyfield, yes.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, that was really interesting to hear some of the challenges that you wouldn't think of, you know, where a tree line is, or, you know, setting up a cage and thinking about the different seasons that are coming up, you know, that you need to consider, or unexpected high amounts of rain or snow or cold, you know, when you're not anticipating it, or you need to have that plan for what to do when those inclement weather hits, or a flood or something. You know, you need to have a place for all those animals to go, and a plan, you know. That's the main thing. Because when, you know, weather was coming, he'd be out there covering up all the cages with thick plastic and protect them from the weather, and they could, you know, endure in those cages outside. Very rarely would we have to pull them in, you know, maybe a hurricane or something. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's, you know, it's a lot easier to control indoors. And I remember Frank Reedy's talking about that, where, you know, he kept all those monitors and he kept some outdoors, and he said it just wasn't as his production wasn't as good outdoors as it was indoors. So,
but you look at Ron and his Ackies and the roaches that he's got going on, and he said, "Oh, I wasn't,
food.
No, they weren't eating the food I was giving them, but they were just fat and happy." And I feel like as long as they're getting their other requirements, I mean, that's pretty much Ackies. That's like feed them, heat them, breed them. That's pretty much that. So I think a lot of it really has a lot to do with, some of the, and I mean, I don't think Ron intended to breed roaches in that kind of composting pile, but he kind of did, and it
was a surprise. He didn't know how they were staying so fat and not eating their food. So, that was a cool revelation. And then just, it's really hard to mimic the outdoors, in an enclosure. So if you can have a larger outdoor that's, subject to the elements, we don't know the effects of like cold and hot spells and, brumation and hibernation and estivation even, so those are different things that, that could benefit them in some unmeasurable way.
For sure. No, I mean, I think, definitely from keeping my diamonds outside, like, the seasonal signal outside is very strong compared to inside, right? Like they're definitely, there's no missing the cue that they're getting, being outside. So and I think that is kind of a, if not one of the big, like, should be a big indicator to people of like, hello, like, okay, maybe, I need to rethink how I think.
Sure. Especially with diurnal reptiles too. Like, trying to mimic the sun in a cage is not, I mean, where I live, I'm only able to keep stuff outdoors maybe, depending on the species, maybe 3 or 4 months, 5 months out of the year at the most, so otherwise the conditions are just not, great for that. And I think you, like Ron said, you kind of go through some pain. You go, you build a cage and then you realize, oh, it's in the wrong spot. Now I got to tear it down and start over. Or, now these animals aren't going to breed this year because they didn't get this, the sun they needed or something. So, that can be a tricky thing and a painful and expensive thing if you, it's hard. They're hard-earned lessons and expensive lessons sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
but the benefits that they can have may outweigh those. So.
Clearly, Ron's big thing is he's paid the piper to get the experience, and having to do iterations that this didn't work or that didn't work, and having to go back and redo it again, and that's that's part of that dedication to figuring it out. That's why. That's why he's the man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Most people be like, I screwed this up. I'm moving on,
Yeah, right. The other thing I liked about Bert's philosophy was keep stuff that will survive, your climate. And there is a guy down in Salt Lake that keeps Russian tortoises outdoors year round. He gives them like a big bale of hay or something to go under during, the winter months, covers it up with plastic so they're protected from the snowfall, but they stay outdoors and babies hatch in his yard, so they're basically just wild tortoises living in a fenced-in enclosure in Utah. So, that's kind of cool. And, I think if you're choosing the right species, like I kind of saying, 5 months, but you could keep some species outdoors year round. Yeah, Bert seemed to think I could keep water dragons, for the most part outdoors. As long as I protected them from the elements. So, kind of cool. Anything else to add to that?
Nah.
Moving on. All right, tech for reptiles.
Tech for reptiles.
Tech for reptiles. It's great when it works. If it malfunctions, it can make your life kind of miserable for a bit. And, heat tape. Burning down your reptile room is not the best, those
That's
kind of
huge.
things. So choose your tech wisely. A lot of times we make decisions based on cost or things like that, and sometimes the animals pay the price for that. So we need to keep that in mind if you're looking at tech. But I think there's a lot of cool new and fairly affordable things that could up our game a bit. You know, the little what are the Govies? Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Little Govee remote temperature chips where you can put them in a cage and see the cycle, you know, the temperature cycle in your cage and different things like that. I bought a bunch for the incubator. I'm going to try to, you know, do a couple different studies to see, to try some different incubation techniques or temperatures, see their effects. But
nice.
So yeah, things like that, and the ultrasound. I'm kind of excited to mess with that. That's a pretty cool tech gadget to see inside your snake to see if she's developing follicles. Or I heard somebody say that you can sex animals that way, but I might have to give that a try. See if there's anything you can see to, you know, with males and females. But I don't know. It's kind of fun to. If you can get some of the, like, I heard him talking about this on Carpets and Coffee, I think it was, where they were talking about the Ipers and their, like, gradual lighting that started on one side of the cage and moved across the top to the other side, kind of like simulating sunrise and sunset. And like lightning, and, you know, when they have storms roll through, they have lightning flashes. And,
like strobe light. That's cool.
I think that might be more for, I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's
sure.
Have any effect on the reptiles? Maybe it's more for the keepers, but still kind of cool that we.
But I mean, I think, you know, it's one of those things where you're kind of pushing the aesthetic of your keeping, and there's definitely a place for that, right? Like, I think
and who knows? Maybe it does have an effect, and they'll find.
I think certainly zoos. I think certainly zoos, with the amount of people that they get through there, could go as far as they should or could go with their aesthetic to make the experience. You know, even if the experience is more valuable for the human than it is for the animal, At least, but new technologies with LEDs and different UV wavelengths and things like that, that's kind of exciting to think about. And hopefully that progresses and becomes a very useful part of our hobby and things like that. Yeah.
All right. Next one, episode 49, breeding females over subsequent years. I saw a recent discussion, I think it was from Dominique Carbonneau, who we had on the show a little while back, where he had a female jungle that he was trying to give a year off, and she laid eggs. You know, she lays eggs pretty much every year, whether she's been with a male or not. And I think in captivity, where they have kind of that, an unending supply of resources, the proper heat, the pretty mild temperatures as far as that goes, endless food, the females are probably thinking, hey, this is great. I'm going to put my genes out there. So, it's not to say that you have to hatch out every egg that's laid, but, sometimes they're going to lay whether you breed them or not. And it's not really,
in the end, it's not really up to you, no matter how much you want to think that it is. So,
So that's, I think they, in captivity, most, and I think there are definitely some exceptions to those rules. Certain snakes that maybe reproduction's a little harder on them. Maybe like a green tree python, or maybe they're not designed or evolved to reproduce over subsequent years. They only reproduce every third year or something, and so every year might be a little much, but.
I think a lot of factors, a lot of variables there.
Yeah, definitely a fun topic to discuss. And then number 50, caging, do it yourself or purchase.
Ooh, so tough.
Yeah, I did purchase some cages recently. They're they're from Dubia.com. That you kind of assemble them yourself.
Yeah, they come like broken down.
They're like metal
tracks,
and you slide the PVC into them and stuff.
So, I got you.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think?
put a few of them together. They're not bad. I installed some lights in there.
Did you have your Gurnia in these?
No, those were Exoterras.
Exos, okay,
decked out for These were recent purchases.
Okay.
Yeah, so I set up a stack of them for blue tongue skinks. So I think I have 6 of them. So yeah, I think I'm fairly happy with them. For the price, especially. I think they were only like $125 or something like that. I think they're 3 foot by 18 inches or something.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah, that's a pretty good price for those.
A little bigger than they had before. They have lighting, and all this. Well, they had lighting before, but little more compact compared to what I had them in before. So I'm pretty happy with them now. They don't have a lot of height on them. I think they're only 12 inches tall, but for a blue tongue skink, that's.
I was going to say our blue tongue
terrible.
skinks, falling out of trees.
I mean, Ron says they'll climb quite a bit, and the
that's
outdoor
fair.
cages he made, but I think they're okay to sit on the ground as well. So giving them a lot of cage furniture to move in and under and around. So hopefully it keeps them happy. But yeah, they seem to be doing all right in those. Just got them set up a couple weeks ago. So
nice.
Yeah, I typically like the DIY, but there was an exception.
I done both.
We're
We're
getting old. We have less time.
Yeah,
We're
dude.
busy,
Exactly. I've only got so many.
We're a little richer
got so many
these days.
hours in my life left. So, do I want to spend it building cages or just let the professionals do it and spend the
and
money?
cost was always an issue for me earlier on. So
no, for
I was
sure,
trying to DIY to save money, but there's nothing wrong with that, and I probably still will do it from here because you can design it how you want it, and a lot of these cookie cutter cages are based on the size of a sheet of plywood.
Well, now you're a
multi-millionaire.
You're a multi-millionaire, multi-published author, and world-renowned.
If only books made a lot of money. Right?
So I feel you. But
I am down to one case, 1.5 cases of the books, so they did sell pretty well. Yeah,
that's good.
I think I need to
put another order in,
get some more. Pick up some more books if they have many left. I think we've sold quite a few of them. So
an excuse to go.
They're going to be out of print before we know it.
Yeah.
I just sent off a book or two today. So
nice,
good times.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I'm a crafty guy. I definitely see the value in being able to kind of construct something that works to your specifications or to your liking, which may not always be the most reasonable thing when you're having somebody else build cages or whatever. But gosh, man, PVC, those high precision PVC cages, they're great tolerances, they're durable cages, they work really well. It's tough to beat those things.
Those ones I got from you are working great.
I just got some animal plastic cages, and they're doing great. I love them. So it's like, tough to poo-poo those nice cages like that.
Yeah. But I mean, if you can get the plastic for, you can probably make the cages for about half the price. Especially when you get it cut and all ready to go. You just assemble them, and
I really like the you put it on a CNC lathe, and it's like down to the thousandth, 2-3 thousandths of an inch. Like that's kind of. It's kind of nice, it's nice. Everything goes together exactly, and you're never, when you're cutting it, that trust me, your saw ain't that square. So
right. Yeah, that's for sure.
But at the same time,
but there's options for that. You can have Lowe's or Home Depot cut it there, and
their table saw ain't that square.
Not as square as a CNC. That's for sure.
Definitely. So
all right, well, that's our clip show. We're through another 10 episodes. All right, nice. So if you didn't hear any of those and they sounded interesting, go back and give them a shot, give them a listen, see if you have any additional insights or ideas for to build on those topics. We're happy to take any suggestions, and we appreciate all the suggestions that have been made and the people who've come on. It's been a lot of fun. So looks like any big topics to bring up. Looks like our buddy Lucas got a clutch of womas on the ground. So
Lucas
they were nice looking too.
Dude, woma. Yeah, he's a woma man.
I know, he's got a couple clutches, didn't he? Yeah.
Freaking
cool.
He's gonna be swimming in woma. He's gonna regret his womanism.
Yeah, he's womanizing.
Yes. He's a womanizer.
Womanizer.
Yeah. Now, as long as he's making...
That's your job. What am I making these things up for?
I'm sure Sack is very proud of him.
That was him.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that's clear. We really like Zach and would never ridicule him if it wasn't from his
his son gave him a nickname. That wasn't us. That was not us. So yeah.
I listened to Clubrids and Clubroid last night while I was cleaning the rodents, and they had Connor Wardle on, who's breeding coach whips. So
nice.
That's kind of a cool thing, less seen species that's worked with, but such a cool snake. I feel
like coach whips would be hard to breed. Yeah, just
they need a room size cage. Right, they're like the United States reticulated python, but they're just so active and so fast.
Fast.
They can cover 20 feet in a half a second almost. Yeah, they're really fast snakes.
They're the Usain Bolt of.
There you go. Yeah, I still remember me and Ben were out herping St. George, and it was a herp trip, like for the herpetology class, and so we were out there and we saw a coach whip and it went under a rock, and so we're like, okay, we got this one. There's no way he's gonna get away. So it was a pretty big rock. Me and this other guy lifted the rock, and we're like, okay, Ben, we lift it, you grab it. We lifted it up. The snake went right through his legs before he even had a chance to react, and it was it was gone. Like no catching this.
Yeah, I feel like so those snakes impressive. They view life in more frames per second than we do. Like they're just gone, and they're like
something.
Yeah.
But I think they're such cool snakes. Yeah. I caught a striped whip snake down in southern Utah when I went with my daughter. I saw it out, and then it zipped into this bush and like under a rock or something. And so I thought, well, maybe we come back here and it'll still be there. And we came back, and it was kind of part way in the bush, and he wasn't paying attention. I was able to grab him before he took off. I don't think he tried to bite me. It was pretty nice snake.
They're at least they're like, look, if you can catch me, fine.
Yeah, I'll respect.
I'll be respectful. Yeah,
yeah, and we were pretty calm, pretty easy going with it. Yeah, like it was. Yeah. It did musk me. That's not the best smell, but I found a nice trick for that. If you get that schweeze on your hands from a snake, you can grab like a sagebrush and just rub the sagebrush in your hands. It takes the smell away. It's kind of nice. Then you got a nice sage smell instead of that foul schweeze.
Yeah, you just got to get schweezed in Southern California. There's plenty of sage.
Yep.
White sage.
Don't get schweezed unless you've got sage.
Yep.
All right. Well, anything else to add?
I got nothing.
Shout out to the Podfather. MoreliaPythonsRadio.com. Give him a listen. Oh, the upcoming Carpet Fest.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they announced it. Was it August 12th? I think I'm going to make the trip out there.
Are you? Nice.
I got to make a Northeast Carpet Fest, so I'm going to plan on it. I think finally make the pilgrimage to the fatherland, or whatever you call that.
That's good. Well, I don't think Eric has to worry about you jumping off his roof into his pool.
Well, that was what I was going to do. That was the whole reason I'm going.
Oh, you wild man.
Eric's in for it, man.
I'm all jacked up on the Lady DDP. Woo!
He thought Wheeler was crazy, man. Wait till he gets a load of me.
Yeah, no,
he's been on trips with me. He knows what I'm capable of. Yep. He just give me enough dirty soda, and I'm I'm a party animal.
Give me that dirty soda.
All right. Yeah, August 12th is when they're having Carpet Fest. So I don't know. You gonna try to make that? You think you could make it? No?
Nah, I doubt it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll represent the RFC.
Yep. You got to hold it down for me.
Challenge the lot of them.
That's
do
right.
One of those.
That's right.
Yeah.
Show those.
I'll do
East
a rapid
Coasters
fire fight. You know.
There you go.
We'll get a bunch of them to fight me all at once.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, this has been another episode of Reptile Fight Club. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Julinder coming off the top turnbuckle. Oh my God!